So, welcome to another episode of the Not Yo Average Auntie podcast, where we keep it real, raw, and relatable. I am Jay, and I have my girls Joe and Key with me, and we here to dive into the topic of 5 generations working in the office or intermingling at all. Period. Like we're in a world where we're in a space. 5 generations can be in one room at any given moment, anytime, anywhere, whether that be work, at the club, whatever. So, but I feel like this is a time where I don't know if this ever existed before. We have 5 generations sharing the same spaces, in some cases, the same systems. Some expectations, not so much. So when you think about it, there's just it's about values, communications, and survival across these generations, right? If you think about the different areas of we were probably, we talked about it in our last episode, probably some survival mode where I feel like the younger generation is like, listen, I'm going to do me, and you guys are going to have to adapt to me, because I'm living more of a soft life, more of they have more boundaries probably than we did. Like if you think about 5 generations ago, people were working to survive and get things done, where now they're making choices about what they want to do in terms of how their work life is going to be, if we're talking about the work
life
area.
balance,
Yeah. And what they value more today in their lives. So
okay. Define the 5 generations. Can you give me like
I have it. So I have it listed out, girl.
Okay.
So I have here, so you talk about boomers. And so I kind of broke it out into different like little categories and subcategories. So don't mind me if I'm reading my notes, because this is what I wrote down. So you have boomers plus Generation X. And in that area, we talk about loyalty, hierarchy, pay your dues, right? Baby boomers. These are people born in 1946 to 1964. Their ages around 62 to 80, right? Now, today. Then you have Generation X, who's around 1965, 1980, ages somewhere between 46 and 61. So now you talk about the millennials plus Gen Z. They're like flexibility, boundaries, purpose, mental health. The millennials, Gen Y, they were born in 1981, 1996. Their age is around 30 to 45. And then you have your Gen Zs, born 1997, 2012, ages 14 to 29.
Okay. Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah.
And you're right. They all could be in the office.
They are.
They are in the office. Yeah.
Well, not for me to be controversial, I say could be, because there's certain environments where they're not, because there's the ageism and they will not hire. So
I thought about that, right? So corporate America, if you think about corporate America, quite possibly, right? But in other industries, not so much, because to your point of their ages, right? And then I think probably also a level of expertise. So if you think about blue collar trade stuff, right? Although people are they are getting their trades and they're getting their certifications in high school, they still maybe 17, 18, 19. They still don't have the years of experience that some of these industries are looking for, like the years of on hands experience. But I think there are some places of work where you're not going to find those Gen Zs at, because of their so-called lack of experience.
And flip it on its head, you're not going to find a boomer or even a Gen X, dare I say, because they don't have the vision. It could happen. Some
don't.
Not all.
There are some that do, right? Like
that's facts. I'm just saying, like,
no,
there's
true.
some that absolutely do, but then there are environments where they're just not welcomed, or they're invisible. So it depends. It is on both sides of the spectrum. That's what I'm just trying to.
Now, so for the boomers and Gen Xers, do you think they become invisible, like you said, because they don't have no vision, because they're stubborn and not willing to move and not willing to budge and not willing to learn, or because they're just being they're being looked at like, oh, they're never going to learn this because of their age, or it's a combination of both those things?
It's a combination of both. You have some that assume that they don't want to learn, but the majority of the time it's because they don't want to change how they've been doing things for so long. They're not willing to learn anything new.
Child. We got things to learn. Everybody can learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Key. You got something to say. I can see it.
I want y'all to fill in the blank.
Oh, Lord.
Here she go with the monkey wrenches again.
She can't help herself.
Gotta keep it spicy.
I love it.
So fill in the blank. Working with people 20 years older and 20 years younger can be blank, and here's why. Do you need me to repeat it? You want me to repeat it? You got it? Joe, you got it? You got what I'm saying? No. Hold on. Working with people 20 years older and 20 years older can be blank, and here's why.
I think it could be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
And why? I think everyone can learn from everyone. I think there are certain things that a person who's 20 years older know that you don't know and can teach you in that space, that you probably come in here with a certain mindset or a certain thought of how things probably should be versus shouldn't be. And this person can help you navigate this space so you don't get lost in the shuffle because you think, I don't want to say you think you know everything. They can help you in this space. They can help you navigate the space. They can help you get acclimated. They can help you adjust.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a younger person can help you think outside of the box. They can help you look at things differently versus how you've been looking at things or possibly would look at things, because you're coming in there, you're looking at somebody 20 years younger, 20 years older, 20 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
I just think there's cross learning that can happen. And I think it's beneficial. It doesn't help. It doesn't hurt. It helps everybody. To me, everybody benefits from it.
I agree with her.
No, answer the question. You can't just agree. You have to. You said a gift and a curse. That's what you blurted out. So now that you have perspective, I need you. Come on, play along, play nice.
It can be a gift, and Janine's point, where if all parties are willing, it can be a beneficial opportunity for all. But it can also be the curse, where everybody's bumping heads. You got the older generation that's not willing to learn from somebody younger than them. And then you got the younger generation who feel that the older generation can't teach you nothing because you know everything. So it all depends on how that situation meshes together. But it should be beneficial in a perfect world again. But unfortunately, it's not like that all the time. So
do I wear rose-colored glasses around here or something?
Why you say that?
So I feel like I'm always on the everything gonna work kind of thing. And Joe be like,
No,
I'm just making a joke.
I'm always a firm believer that you should be able to learn something new every day. I don't have a problem working with kids younger than me or people who are younger than me, because you both can learn from each other. It all depends on the mindset and the attitude that you bring to the table when that situation or opportunity arises.
Yeah, that's true.
So my answer is, again, in the same vein. I think it can be beneficial. That's what I wrote down. And again, it's because if you're actually open, you can be exposed to perspectives on both sides of the spectrum, right? The perspectives that you would not necessarily get if you stay in your own age bubble. So that doesn't mean that somebody has to sit down and say, let me teach you something. Sometimes you just have to observe both sides and just be open. That's what I mean by being open. I think it enables a person to learn how people have thought and their mindset before you, the older generation. And then it also helps you to learn how people think after you, the younger generation, right? So you get both ends, and it kind of forces you to stay aware instead of being outdated.
Yeah.
It keeps you from being stuck in one way, your way of thinking. And it reminds you that the world didn't stop evolving just because you may have forgotten, because you got comfortable. A lot of
And that's
times,
what it is.
yeah, a lot of times people that have that with age, they get comfortable. This is the way. And that's not, you know, if you're open to observing, learning, whether it's them sitting you down saying, no, let me show you how to do this, or you just see and you're like, hey, they did that a different way, let me figure it out, right? It keeps you from acting like your way is the only way, right? And you're able to see both sides. You know, I will say this to the cows come home: age is just a number to me. I don't care in any context. Age is just a number. It don't mean anything more than that to me.
I agree.
So
yeah, because I think when you go back to the point, like you said, when you get comfortable and you're stuck in the words that come out of people's mouths drives me crazy. Well, this is how we did it over here, or this is how we do it over here.
No, this is how we've always done it.
Oh, this is how we've always done it. That's the other one.
That's the famous one.
No. Okay, that may have been how you always done it, but we're gonna do things differently now. I mean, we have tools, right? Like it just makes me think about the AI situation. I was reading an article where it says the older generation feels guilty of using AI, and they will tell when they use AI, versus the younger generation who uses AI and just spit the work out as if it was all their own. With no problem. They take full credit for everything, which in my mind, you should take full credit, because AI can't do it without you telling it what to do. But yes, it made you a little bit more efficient. It didn't do all the work. It just made your output more efficient. But it goes back to that thing where people get stuck in their ways. They don't want to deal with AI.
So I think on the AI front, I think it's just in the same vein that you mentioned. It can make you more efficient, but you have to, in order for you to really like something like a full-blown project, not the meat, like the day-to-day stuff. That's easy. You can eat. No, what I mean, some people even ask because they don't know what to do, so they'll ask AI. That's fine. But like, you have to have critical thinking skills. If you do not, you cannot think you can use AI. It is good because it's not
garbage in, garbage out.
And that's what people need to realize, right? So, but it's interesting, that article that you mentioned, because I think you're right. Although I haven't personally encountered it, but I've seen comments. You know me, I be in them comments, or whether it's an article or whatever, and it is older people that are like, well, I used it for blah blah blah. So what?
Exactly.
Who cares?
Right.
Exactly.
Did it do what you needed it to do? Did it help you get what you needed to get done? That's all that matters. And was it received? Did it yield good results? Like, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. But I think they're feeling guilty because they feel like they're cheating in some kind of way. And it's like, why? Because this one over here, this 24-year-old over here isn't. So so have you gotten caught up in because now it's like things you used to say around the office back then, you really had to be mindful of, right? And still should today. But now it's the whole age. You got to be mindful what you say about a younger person versus an older person. You can't say, I think there was something that happened where they were saying, I'm in a room with all these blah, blah, blah. They wouldn't know about this date and time. Like, you can't say that. Because they were going based off of their age, right? So corporate politics, basically, or what do you call it? It's corporate politics, I guess. You really got to be mindful of what you're saying about each generation. Like, you can't say people are too old for this. I mean, you should never say that anyway, but people get in trouble for saying stuff like that.
Yeah. I think you should just exercise caution in terms of what you say in the office, period. It ain't nobody your friend, and just exercise caution.
Exactly.
Just a
But
child.
don't because it's almost like border. I don't know. I don't want to say discrimination, but when you say things like that, you are being discriminatory towards
Yeah.
one age or another.
Yeah.
And you got to be, like you said, you got to be mindful of those things.
I think I shared this in a previous episode where my 2 direct reports, I had a meeting set up with them. We were going over policies, and I sent them the policies through email, and both printed the 150 something page policy booklet and brought it to the meeting with their notes and stuff on it. And I made a comment saying, you guys are making my head hurt with all this paper. And I said it in a joking manner. I was, we were all laughing, we were conversating. I didn't mean anything by it. I was just, but apparently one of them went to HR with that comment. And I told them how it went because I recorded the meeting, and it was brought to my attention that I can't say stuff like that because they were, I guess, 18 and 19 years my senior. So,
but did that comment trigger an age, like a reflection of their ages? I don't see how that.
By me making that comment, I was telling them that they didn't know how to do their job. That was how it was brought to me when I had the meeting. I hurt their feelings in saying what I said.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That sounds like some BS to me. I'm sorry. Because I don't feel like anything.
As we're talking and I'm asking questions, they're flipping through the papers, trying to find where they wrote that note down for that particular thing.
I still don't feel like what you said.
Just joked and said, you guys are making my head hurt with all this paper. And we all laughed about it. I didn't think nothing of it. The conversation went well. Nobody had no attitude. They didn't show me that they had an attitude when I made the comment. So I thought nothing of it. And then towards the end of the day, that was when I got the email from HR that they wanted to see me. And that was what was brought to them. So I had to show them the recording to show how the meeting went. But in their eyes, I hurt their feelings by saying what I said. So.
So I don't know. So we talked about a lot of stuff in the workplace. What about outside of the workplace, like, friendships? And do you think there's a space for friendships across generations? Like, can you be a friend of somebody who's Gen Z or Gen Y?
That's where I struggle with, because I don't have a problem like socializing every once in a while with the younger generation. But at some point, you can't do it all the time. There still needs to be that separation of, you should be hanging out with people closer to your age.
Why?
I'm not saying all the time. What I'm saying, I just couldn't hang out with like people my daughter's age all the time. Once in a while is fine, but not every single time I'm going out, I'm hanging out with my daughter and her friends. That it just doesn't feel right to me. That's just me. I'd rather hang out with women closer to my age group if I'm gonna be doing it regularly. Or there's times I just want to vent. I don't want to vent to the younger generation. I want it to be amongst, or I want to have fun amongst women my age. Because you still want to keep that level of, I guess, respect. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I can't hang out with my daughter all the time.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't be able to go hang out with my son and his friends all the time. Even though there's every so often they're here and we, talking and lollygagging and, that's fine. Or if we go out to dinner and, they're there, but not all the time. I couldn't do it. I need to be around people my age. Sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Right. Don't be sorry. That's what you do.
And I think I don't know. I mean, you keep saying like your daughter, your son. I was looking at it from the vantage point of just a person you knew. They don't
Yeah.
have to necessarily be a family member.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
when she asked the question, I was putting it in that context, not immediately thinking, "Oh, my children."
the majority of my time during the day, like I work for nonprofit. So this is one of those situations where all 5 generations are in the office. Even the 18, 19-year-olds, they're there.
Mhm.
I wouldn't necessarily go out every single time I'm hanging out with the 18, 19, and 21-year-olds. Now, if there's an outing where they're there and we're socializing, that's fine. But to be doing that on a regular basis, no, I wouldn't do that. I would want to hang out with the older co-workers that's there, or hanging out with my friends who are closer to my age. I just wouldn't be able to hang out with them all the time. That's all I'm saying. It just doesn't. I don't feel right doing that.
Okay.
What was the damn question? Repeat the questions. I'm sorry.
It was I said we were talking about, corporations. Like, how
Right.
do you can you be friends with somebody in the different generations below yours generation?
Okay. Can I be friends with a person that's not in the same generation as me? I have been friends, and I still am friends with people that are not in the same generation as me. It doesn't necessarily mean that we hang out all the time, but
Right.
I still chew the meat and spit out the bones, man. Get what you can get from the relationship and keep it moving. Like, I got
Jesus.
friends in all damn versions of the freaking, like, every it doesn't matter. Like, I
wouldn't use the word friend. I would say more associate. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I'm looking at,
So there's levels to friends. We know this.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
So there's even my day ones are different from friends. They're gonna know. So there's levels to friends, right? So,
Mhm.
And then there's the associates and the colleagues and all that stuff, right? So, I mean, to me, it's not a big to do. And I can navigate. I guess to better answer your question is I'm able to navigate at any generation. It doesn't
level.
matter to me.
Yeah. I think, I would say the same thing too. I mean, like, it depends on it's really based off of interest, right? So if they're doing something I'm
That's
not
correct.
interested in, I'm not going to do that, right?
There
But
you
if they're
go.
doing something I'm interested in and we share the same interest, then why not? So
Yeah.
absolutely, I would do it. I don't have no issue.
You go to a Beyonce concert, baby, you got all generations up in that mother, right? So it is based on interests, right? You may go to a kickboxing class, you may go to a gym class, a Pilates class, and you're gonna have the various generations. So to me, it's not a big to do. Doesn't necessarily mean that they my ace boom coon.
Right.
Again, there's levels to friends, but it doesn't. It don't bother me.
Yeah, I'm saying so. Do you have a question, Craig? No, you had a question. Go, girl.
I guess my question is it harder dealing with someone who's older who won't budge, or someone younger who doesn't want to listen? Which one is harder?
The younger who don't want to listen.
I think they're equally hard because no one's willing to adjust or adapt. Everybody's being stuck and stubborn. The one who doesn't want to learn is just going to be messing shit up because they don't want to learn. The one who's stuck and stubborn and they're going to mess things up because they don't want to freaking do something a different way. It's both. It's hard. Both sides are hard. I can't see.
So you say both. I agree with that. But Joe,
you
said younger. You said younger.
But I do say younger because it's usually harder with them. They seem to think that they know it all and they can't learn nothing from you.
It's younger because
they're usually in a mindset where they can't learn anything from an older person, that their way or what they know is all right. They don't need to learn nothing from someone older than them. They know everything. At least with an older person, there is that opportunity of bending just a little. Not all the time, but they will bend and listen or want to learn something. Younger generation, no. At least that's my experience that I've
I'm glad you clarified with saying your experience.
Yeah, my experience.
Okay.
Mhm.
So all right. In that same vein,
Mhm.
is the issue them, or is it that they challenge how you're doing things?
Sometimes it is them.
Okay. But you ain't speak to the other part. Is it the fact that they're challenging how you do things?
There are some that usually challenge, but that's also that if they're challenging it, they are open based on the explanation you give to want to look at it your way or look at it from a different vantage point. If they're not questioning it, then no, they're not willing to learn at all. They believe that their way is the correct way, and that's it.
Okay.
I think it can be both. It could be them not willing to be open, but it also could be you not knowing how to influence.
That is a big. I think you was cooking with that, and I think that is why many people have a problem flexing between all the generations. Is that the ability to get your messaging across and being flexible in how you share it so that it could potentially be digestible with whomever, whatever age. And that is the ability to influence.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times when we're incapable of doing that, or we just don't know how, there's the element of frustration on our end.
Yeah. Now you just think they don't want to do it my way. No, you didn't tell them what the benefits of your way. Give them the why behind your way or the benefits of behind your way. So sometimes.
I agree with that. Sometimes, not all the time. Because sometimes you could give them, you could be flexing all that you want.
Exactly.
Lying to death, answering every why they have.
They're saying this nope.
Yeah.
And that's their inability to be flexible, right?
Yeah.
But I think more often than not, and again, this is my experience, where I see people that they think they're being flexible, but they ain't. They just saying, no, don't do it. You ain't saying that, don't do it. Don't do it. You done said don't do it
Same
3
thing
different ways, but you said the same damn thing. You didn't, you know what I'm saying? So I think I've seen people that think they're being flexible, but they're really not. And then they get frustrated because they don't have the ability to influence, and it's just an endless cycle.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether it's young, old, don't matter who it is. It could be a peer of theirs, and they still can't get the outcomes that they want. So yeah.
So I have a question that if 5 generations can't coexist, does that say more? What does that say about the leadership more than an employee?
To me, that shows that either a couple of things. Either leadership is out of touch, that they don't even know, right, how to mend it, how to bridge that gap. So 2 things: they're out of touch, or they know and they just don't know how to do it, so they're not seeking counsel, or they just don't care because the revenue's still going, and they can churn and burn. So all right, you out, next person,
Yeah, and I've seen examples of where they just don't care because they're far removed from the situation where they're relying on their leaders to lead, right? And their leaders are, let's just say their leaders are of the older generation, and now managing these younger generations, and they of the old school, and they're not trying to be flexible to help the younger generation. All the younger generation seeing them as rigid and old, antiquated in their ways of doing things, and not being open-minded to new ways. And leadership is like, y'all figured it out. I ain't, like, hands off, y'all figure this out. So this is just from people that I've talked to. Like, I'm kind of like, I'm talking to this person and I'm like, okay, I understand how certain things have been done over time, and how some things have to still continue in that way for certain reasons, but there is a way in which you probably have to explain it now versus in how you had to explain it before. Like back then, people said whatever the hell they wanted to say. You can't talk like that today. So you have to remember, I think to your point earlier, you mentioned about how you speak and talk to people in the office or even your directs. You have to be willing to communicate in a way that it doesn't come off as you're rigid, old, and not flexible. So that's just from a personal example. Is work supposed to be transactional or relational?
Cool.
It
It's
depends
both.
on. Okay,
What Joe said?
go ahead, Joe.
I said it's both.
Why?
You have transactional, it's transactional, but you also need to be able to have a relationship with the people you're doing the transactions with for it to be a even flow of transactions where there is no issues. I'm a firm believer in getting to know who you're working with. That way it helps to make the situation or the project run smoother when you're working with other people. If there's no relationship and it's just transactional, ideas or opinions can get misconstrued or misunderstood.
Yeah. And when you say getting to know the person you're working with, and which way and how deep or how much are you getting to know that person? Is it their working style,
just
their
working
history,
style,
their projects?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of everything. I mean, you have to get personal in some way. You don't have to give them your whole life story.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're starting a new project and there's a whole bunch of, let's say there's 10 people, you usually have an outing or a meeting to get to know one another. You give a brief introduction. You do exercises to get to know one another, to see how you work or how you mesh with one another. So when the project starts, you kind of have an idea who does what by that point. Mm-hmm. And as long as you were able to hash out whatever was happening at the initial meeting, you're starting to build a relationship with each of your co-workers. So now as the project is going, I have an old school way of doing things. I don't always like to respond with an email. By you calling them in the beginning and having a brief 2-3 minute discussion, that builds rapport and relationships. So when those emails do come around, or when they do come, you're not reading the email wrong because you have a relationship with them and you know, oh, they didn't mean it like that because you've had some type of interaction with them. And your emails are not coming off wrong. That's just me. You have to build a relationship with the people you're working with in order for transactions to go smoother. That's just me.
Okay. Kira, what are you smiling for, girl?
I disagree. Not 100%. Not 100%.
Okay.
But I think it is situational. I think it depends on what you're working, like the manner in which you work in. Mm-hmm. Because certain things can be transactional. Bing, bang, done. It doesn't matter. I think that it's not every time you work on a project, you're not always going on an outing. Okay.
No, not all the time, but yeah.
Just saying. I'm only going off of the example that you provided. I think it's beneficial to some degree if you know the person for all the points that you have mentioned, but it is not a necessity. I rather, especially when we're talking about a work environment, I just need to know you need to do what you need to do on your end and get it done. Whatever your role is, I just need to know that you're capable of doing it. And I won't know that if I never met you until you start to deliver on whatever the deliverables are from your end versus my end. So I don't necessarily have to, be chummy. I just needed you to get it done. So it depends. To answer your question, it depends on the situation. Some work environments are very transactional, just get it done and keep it moving. Some you do require some level of relational aspect of it. But again, it's only in the context of, are you going to get this done? Are you going to hold up your end of the stick? Because I'm going to hold up my end and let's keep it moving. And if it's something that ultimately I'm relying on others to do their part, and the whole sum of parts is really my responsibility, then I really need to know who's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because if I'm ultimately responsible for the end deliverable, I need to know where I need to pitch in, light a fire, or just say, okay, now I had to light a fire because you didn't get the damn thing done, but I'm not working with you. Or we're going to have this conversation, or I have to escalate it, or if something that they missed. I'm not like you, Joe. I don't have to pick up the phone and always have that conversation. I mean, because we've been, I've had whole conversations on Slack, whole conversations on, so if you forget email, because that takes too long sometimes. You got to use Slack, and it's still very beneficial, and you can just get things done. But again, I've worked in those environments where it's like, it's moving. It's no time to like, hey, how you doing? And then we ain't got time for that. But so I worked in those really fast-paced environments where the expectation is get it done. And then I've worked in the more slower down, but I'm so used to, and I'm not I don't hobnob with everybody at the office.
Yeah.
So I ain't trying to be friends with everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. I do have coworkers that have morphed into friends, but my initial thing is, I come here to work. I know how to be, I'm not standoffish. I can do the water cooler talk, but I don't need you knowing anything about me. I really don't give a damn about you until you prove to me. I'm being honest. I really don't care. I don't care about what you did over the weekend, but I play the game. Oh, how was your vacation? I don't give a shit. Okay? Get your shit done. Let me get my shit done, and I'm out. Now, me saying that to you guys and being vulnerable and saying that, I'm giving you that side of me. That's when I say I don't give a shit. Those people,
they don't know that.
Will never.
They don't know that.
Because I played the game. But I really don't care. And guess what? Let me hip you to something. They don't give a shit.
They don't care either.
No. They really don't give a shit. They may think they doing the same thing I did, And until you really could peel back the layer and meet somebody, you be like, oh, no, we really vibe. And then we both peel back the layer. And I do have a very, very, very small amount of people that I'm with, of coworkers or people that may have been my employees that I'm still cool with. But other than that, I don't do the whole, I really don't care. Just get it done. I got other things to do. I need to get home. And back in the days, I need to get home, get my damn kids and my husband. I ain't got time for this shit. Don't be calling me with no bullshit. And there's no offense to you, but I have worked with people that want to pick up the phone. So shagging it. And okay, yep. What do you need?
Yeah.
Because did you understand the email? I don't want all of that.
Yeah.
There's no desire for it. Let's get
me picking up the phone. Let me clarify, because I deal with the banks, because I may have to deal with a government agency, and you have a representative that's responsible for the grants that you work with them, or at the bank where they're responsible if there's an issue for anything to do with the accounts that you're responsible for. Picking up the phone the first 1 or 2 times, that builds rapport with them. So now when something needs to get done, you don't have to wait. They're willing to go above and beyond for you.
I get that.
So that's what I'm talking about in terms of, that's just me. I like to build a rapport with the people I work with to make sure that things get done.
I think
before you say that, I agree with you. Again, it's there's ways you can build a rapport and get things done. I'm all about getting things done, but I'm not gonna I'm just not hobnobbing too much. So I do, again, that goes in hand with playing the game. The game.
Yeah.
But it's not too much. I don't need to know. I don't give a damn. And mind you, again, how was your weekend? I'm good at getting in. I'm good at building the rapport. Very good at that. especially in corporate. I'm very good at it, but the call it salesy. Sometimes you have to, and it's not sales in a traditional sense, but you just have to play the game, do what you need to do.
What you need.
Especially as a Black woman, so you could be less threatening, so you can be more they can see, oh, she's helpful, whatever. So you play the game, but at the end of the day, just like they don't give a damn, I just get it done. And let's
get that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think all valid points across the board. Yes, very transactional. Those onesie twosie things, I just need to get an answer or I need you to do something. We're not even working on anything repeatedly. So I think once you work on something repeatedly with somebody, on multiple projects with somebody, yes, some sort of relationship is built. It's still very much work related, but it's a different type of relationship with somebody I need a quick answer from versus somebody you're working with on multiple projects over a period of time, whether it be years. And so those are different type of relationships that get built. As far as playing the game, yeah, the hobnobbing and all that kind of stuff, I think everybody does that, to Kira's point, and it's either because, like she said, she doesn't care, either they don't care or they just being goddamn nosy, because that's another part of it too. They just want to know what the hell's going on in your world, all while not giving you a damn thing about information that's going on in their world. And that I've always been like, you gotta be very careful with, because those are the things that they hold against you at some point in time. So yeah, I think it's two sides, very transactional for the onesie twosies, quick hitters, but relation gets built with something or a person that you're working with over time on multiple projects, and it's still not necessarily a personal relationship. It can turn into one, but it's more of a work relationship.
And that's the difference between corporate and nonprofit. Yes.
Well, I mean, no, it's the same.
Corporate is more how you're describing it.
That's not.
No, you're dealing with the same.
But I'm not. I don't want to have a debate on the podcast. But that's not true. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've done work with nonprofit too. It's not,
I'm just talking this is my experience. That for me, that's how I feel. So
I'll just make one point without getting into a debate. If you're working with the same government agency all the time, that's building a relationship with that government agency. So that's more like me working on multiple projects over and over and over again, kind of example with that same government agent. So it's similar in that regard. Yeah. What else you ladies got on these generations, because they out here doing a damn thing, I could say that.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just going to say that I do see one thing that I do commend the millennials and Gen Z's on is that they normalize boundaries and mental health. Like they really all about work-life balance, not reducing reduce the burnout. They want to make sure that everything is even, breezy. They encourage healthier leaderships, and they challenge toxic productivity, so to speak. So I will say that they don't have a problem speaking their mind when it comes to something happening at the office. Or if they're ready to go home, 5 o'clock come, they out the door. There's no see you tomorrow type thing. So
yeah, I think they do. They have boundaries that people probably didn't have back in the day. And I think I spoke about that at the top of the intro of the topic. But I do think they take advantage a little bit as well in terms of not pulling their weight when they should be pulling their weight, if they can get away with it. And that's not all of them. There are some.
Yeah, there are some. Yeah.
Yeah. They call out. They ain't showing up. They don't care. They don't care. They don't
about the repercussions. I see you tomorrow, or I'm not feeling well. I need a mental health day. That's the big thing now. I need a mental health day.
I'm not gonna knock them for taking care of their mental health. I just don't think it should be to the point where they're not considering the impacts of that. Because it's not just about them. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think, and I know that they do, the whole mental health day and all that stuff, and that's cool. It's completely cool. I just always been of the mind, like, if I'm calling, I'm calling out. I ain't got to tell you shit.
No reason, exactly.
I'm off today.
Yeah.
Right. I've just been very guarded in that sense. You know, when I needed to take off, I'm off. When I needed to go someplace, and it may have to do with my kids. Sometimes I've been in work environments, people didn't even know I had kids. It's none of their damn business.
Yeah.
Right. I travel light. You know, I'd have my office. Not one photo, nothing personal. And this was initially by choice, but then it became because I was a consultant, so I'm always on the road. So it don't make no sense to have all that crap, you know, on the desk. But I've learned that it benefited me because I just let me no, I don't need you to know anything.
The old school have their whole family
Don't
freaking
need none
collage on the
yeah. I don't need you to just all I need you to do is know that what you're asking of me, I'm capable of doing and delivering. That is it. I don't need you to know you don't need to know all that stuff. So yeah, I travel light. Now, I mean, and now I you know, sometimes I may divulge things here and there. Of course, in small talk conversation, it may come up, but I don't offer.
Yeah.
I don't offer anything.
I mean, usually, but shared experiences, maybe, if at all, possibly. Because
if you suss out and again, a lot of the things I may share is only if I know it's going to be in my benefit.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in a work environment. One question I have, last one I have, what do you think the younger generation misunderstands most about our generation?
I feel like some of them think you're supposed to know it all. You should have all the answers. Some of them think that you're stuck in your ways and you don't want to learn anything new. I don't think I won't say there is a level of respect, I think, in terms of how you speak around certain people at a certain age. It's not there anymore. Like back in the day, like you were taught not to be derogatory or curse or all that kind of stuff in front of people that was your senior and stuff like that. And that's just out of the window. And I don't know if it still needs to be, because I mean, but I think it still lends itself to some type of level of respect to that person that I just don't think is there anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say that has changed.
But I think they have a lot of different skewed ways about older people, as do older people have skewed ways about younger people, in my opinion.
And I guess they always think, I guess why you didn't say something sooner type thing. Like, you guys let it happen for so long, why nobody never said anything? That's usually what comes from the younger generation about us, or about the older generation. Because to them, we are the older generation. So
why don't we ask for help?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I got.
You didn't tell us what you think. She be killing me.
No, I think I think that they misunderstand that loyalty used to be rewarded. It used to be. Now you being loyal, you might be a jackass for that. To some
you think they misunderstand that in terms of that
it used to be, if you were, you know, they're right. So they're like, okay, what you being loyal for? Because they don't understand that it used to be rewarded.
Oh, got you. Right? Yes. Well, they're right. They're not wrong.
Absolutely. No, I'm not. Again, I'm just saying where they misunderstand. Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I think when you stay too long in one place, that well, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
I think that they misunderstand. I think this is a little bit kind of sort of what Joe was saying, you know, why didn't you say anything? You know, sometimes at depending on how far back you want to go, we didn't have options or the language to say things. And if you did, you find yourself out without a job, and now you got to figure it out.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we just, people kept quiet
Mm-hmm.
because they needed that check.
Right.
Security. Yep.
Survival.
Mhm.
So yeah, survive first, and we can deal with all the mental health shit later. I mean, that a lot of it was that.
Right.
So it is, times are changing, and I definitely applaud them for saying, I don't want to put up with that crap.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with that. I can say I'm proud of them for standing up for themselves in ways that a lot of people didn't before them,
Mm-hmm.
and setting those boundaries.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
like when they leave work, they leave work. They ain't answering no email at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and on Saturday and Sunday. They ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at them.
Totally not.
I've learned. Not necessarily from them. I just learned in general. I gotten wiser.
Yeah. There you
As
go.
for our last conversation.
But I always felt like that when it came to vacation, don't call me, don't email me while I'm on vacation. And if you're on vacation, I'm not calling you unless the building is burning down. That was always my thing, because you need that time to regroup.
Yeah.
Don't disturb me. That's why I'm taking the vacation, because I need time away from you guys. Like,
Yep. Yep. So
That's all I have. So, in closing out, tell us what you think about your experience working across multiple generations, and any lessons learned, or any eye-opening things, or anything that you want to share that maybe could help the next person, whether they're older or younger. If you're younger and you watch, because this podcast is a variety of different ages, spanning a number of different generations. So if you're younger, what piece of advice would you give to an older person, and vice versa? If you're older, what piece of advice would you give to a younger person to help make it just a little bit more palatable for you to digest?
and easy, and just work together.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We
Yes.
love to hear your feedback and your comments. We're enjoying it. So
yes.
tune in.
Absolutely. Till next time. Bye.